why they really want to ban diesel engines. In the US and Canada, we have a small percentage of cars which run on diesel. I've been 1 year ago to Dubai and I didn't see any diesel-powered cars. There are some diesel-powered vehicles which you can use for labor, but no diesel cars around town. At least I did not see any. And you know what? Even if in Dubai you don't have that much greenery, it's desert all over the place, and you have lots of V8s, V10s, V12s, V6s, and you rarely see an engine with a capacity below 3 liters. The air doesn't seem that much polluted because we do not have diesel engines. The truth is, diesel engines are just great for moving heavy stuff, for trucks, for off-road, for pulling, for the high towing capacities that you get in SUVs, but they pollute a lot. To be more specific, they emit a lot of NOx emissions, which basically are reduced, let's say, by the EGR system and by the AdBlue system. But the real threat comes from the small particulates, PM2.5, that are retained in the DPF or in the diesel particulate filter, which are expensive and they give us some headaches with the maintenance. And a lot of folks choose to delete or to cancel the DPF. And so we transform our vehicles into polluting machines, which emit smoke, particles which are extremely dangerous, harmful, they produce cancer, and they thought that it's a lot better without them. Don't get me wrong, gasoline engines also emit some PM2.5 particles, and nowadays we have some gasoline particle filters or GPFs, but they run more like passively, they don't run through regenerations, and they pollute a lot less. In Belgium, you have a table in which you will find that starting from 1st January 2025, you will not be able to enter the city center if you have a diesel engine with Euro 5 or below. You will need to have basically newer diesel engines equipped with Euro 6 standards, a diesel particle filter, AdBlue, NOx reducing emissions, and starting with 2030, I think, 1st January, you will not be able to enter Brussels at all if you have a diesel engine. But if you take a closer look, you are allowed to enter Brussels city center or Brussels if you have Euro 3 gasoline engines and above. So it's Euro 3 for gasoline and Euro 5 for diesel. Basically, they admit that diesel engines pollute a lot more. In my opinion, it's a big mistake to buy a passenger car with a diesel engine if you drive that car solely in the city or around town or for short distances. For such a driving behavior, let's say, for such needs, you need a gasoline engine, a hybrid, LPG, whatever you want, even an EV, not a diesel engine. Diesel engines were meant for moving heavy stuff, as I said at the beginning of this video. So we should keep diesel engines for the heavy stuff because we cannot make a truck with a 12-liter gasoline engines. I know there are some in the north of Russia, where it's extremely cold, in the north of Canada. I think there are some, but they're extremely inefficient. We should keep diesel for the heavy stuff, and we should cut diesel for the smaller cities and for the smaller applications. If you can drive a small gas engine, basically you don't need a diesel. So why would we need to drive one if they pollute a lot? Plus, they are a lot more complex and they require lots and lots of maintenance. If they are too complex and they need fixes all the time, means that they are not that reliable as a whole. The engine itself is reliable. If you maintain it properly, it can surpass 1,000,000 kilometers. But If you want to reach that number on the odometer, you need to do a lot of maintenance, which is not cheap. Speaking of maintenance, you have in the description some links to Amazon, to some leaky moldy products made in Germany, additives, oil, and more, if you want to check them out. Diesel engines produce cancer, and if there are too many within a city, it's dangerous for us. That's the main story, whether you like it or not. That's the truth. I also own a small diesel vehicle, but I keep it for moving stuff, carrying stuff for my shop, and that's it. I don't use it for, I don't know, personal stuff. For my personal use, when I go on a long journey, I have a Toyota. It's hybrid, it's gasoline, it has a GPF, a gasoline particulate filter. It's really efficient, it's silent, and it's just great. Don't get me wrong, I don't think EV is the future, at least not in the next 20 years. But before we move to EV, I think the first step will be to remove diesel from small applications. I think that's the first thing we can do on large scale. Let me know what you think about banning diesel engines. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.